Taiwan VP says peace will serve as his lighthouse. Argentina's Milei says he'd reject assassin China. All 20,000 Yellowknife, Canada residents evacuating due to wildfire. Thousands flee after wildfire on Spanish island. Cathay Pacific woos travelers with cheapest tickets since COVID. Putin plans meeting on Russian currency control. Singapore among world's first to agree to stablecoin crypto regulation. German cabinet oaks landmark bill over legal cannabis use.
Hello, I'm Jolie. Thank you so much for joining us on Funday News. It is Friday, August 18th, and here are your top stories. Taiwan Vice President William Lai has promised during a visit to San Francisco to take peace as his lighthouse and democracy as his guide on the final leg of his trip. In a speech to supporters entitled Building an Innovative and Prosperous Country, Lai touted Taiwan's key role in the global technology supply chain and said he would turn Taiwan into Asia's Silicon Valley. The banquet with supporters was attended by Laura Rosenberger, chair of the American Institute in Taiwan.
On Thursday, Lai said, "Here I make my promise to everyone. Going forward, I will do all I can to lead Taiwan continuously forward with peace as the lighthouse and democracy as the compass." He said, "We have one shared goal, which is to make Taiwan the MVP of the democratic world." Speaking before Lai, Rosenberger said the Biden administration was committed to expanding Taiwan's engagement with like-minded allies and partners.
Argentina's presidential frontrunner Javier Milei would freeze relations with China and pull South America's second biggest economy out of the Mercosur trade bloc with Brazil. He told Bloomberg News on Wednesday, "People are not free in China. They can do what they want, and when they do it, they get killed," referring to Beijing's government. The unexpected presidential election primary victor added, "Would you trade with an assassin?" It's not the first time a prominent Argentine politician has verbally confronted China.
In 2015, then-President Cristina Fernández de Kirchner caused a furor by mocking the Chinese accent in a tweet. Her comments came while she was on a state visit to China seeking investment. Milei later appeared to at least partly soften his outspoken comments, clarifying he'd deem it up to the private sector to decide whether to maintain commercial ties with China and other countries with leaders that he dislikes. Milei shook Argentina's political arena last weekend, putting him in the lead to be the country's next president.
After an evacuation order was declared, all 20,000 residents left by car and plane. Wildfire crews battled on Thursday to prevent wildfires from reaching the Canadian northern city of Yellowknife. Water boomers flew low over Yellowknife as thick smoke blanketed the capital of the vast and sparsely populated Northwest Territories. Officials say the fire 16 kilometers northwest of the city could reach the outskirts by Saturday if there's no rain.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau plans to convene a meeting of the Incident Response Group to discuss the fires later on Thursday. His office said the group is composed of senior officials and ministers and meets in cases of crisis. This is Canada's worst ever wildfire season, with more than 1,000 active fires burning across the country, including 265 in the Northwest Territories, with about 65% of the population of 46,000 people evacuated. Experts say climate change has exacerbated the wildfire problem.
Firefighters on Thursday struggled to contain the wildfire that broke out in a mountainous national park on the Spanish island of Tenerife amid hot and dry weather, prompting authorities to evacuate nearly 4,500 people. The fire, which broke out on Wednesday, has burned through at least 2,600 hectares of land. Scorching heat and dry weather this summer have contributed to unusually severe wildfires in Europe and Western Canada. Hawaii's Maui was also hit by wildfires, which have killed at least 106 people.
Extreme weather continues across Europe. On the Spanish island of Tenerife, an area of 26 square kilometers has already burned down.
Scientists say that climate change, driven by fossil fuel use, has led to more frequent and more powerful extreme weather events. Tenerife authorities warned that the spreading blaze could lead to further evacuations and confinement, advising people to stay tuned to public service alerts. So far, 3,820 people were ordered to stay home. All access to the mountains on the island, including tourist favorite Mount Tata and the Tata Astrophysics Institute, has been closed off to prevent any incidents.
Cathay Pacific Airways plans to start selling some of its cheapest tickets in more than 3.5 years on Thursday, offloading 100,000 round-trip economy seats at steep discounts. Among the biggest discounts on offer are flights to London for 5,538 Hong Kong dollars, Taipei for 1,220, and Tokyo for 2,980, including taxes and surcharges. Cathay is currently selling tickets in the second week of January to London for 12,563 Hong Kong dollars, to Taipei for 2,210, and to Tokyo for 4,885.
Other destinations on sale include Bangkok, Singapore and Seoul, and long-haul flights to Sydney, Tel Aviv, Amsterdam and Chicago. An airline spokesman said it was running the campaign to tempt travelers to fly more, including to destinations they wouldn't otherwise try. The airline will top 70% of pre-COVID capacity by the end of 2023. The carrier's revenue over recent months has been buoyed by strong demand, limited supply and high airfares, helping it post its largest first-half profit in 13 years.
Two people familiar with the matter said Russian President Vladimir Putin was set to discuss ramping up currency controls with Russian policymakers on Wednesday after an extraordinary 3.5 percentage point rate rise failed to hold the ruble slide. The sources said that Putin planned to hear proposals from Russia's finance ministry to require exporters to convert some of their foreign currency earnings, most of which are currently held abroad, into rubles. The proposal would be the first time Russia has increased currency controls since the war.
The finance ministry's proposals, seen by the Financial Times, would require exporters to sell up to 80% of their foreign currency revenue within 90 days after delivery and ban companies that refused to comply from receiving government subsidies. Other proposed measures include a ban on paying out dividends and extending loans abroad, even to countries deemed friendly by Russia, canceling import subsidies, limiting currency swaps, and reducing the amount of foreign currency exporters are allowed to take out of Russia.
Singapore's financial regulator on Tuesday said it had finalized rules for a type of digital currency called stablecoins. The Monetary Authority of Singapore's framework spells out some key requirements, including reserves that back stablecoins must be held in low risk and highly liquid assets. They must equal and exceed the value of the stablecoin in circulation at all times. Stablecoin issuers must return the par value of the digital currency to holders within 5 business days of a redemption request.
According to the framework, stablecoin issuers must also provide appropriate disclosures to users, including the audit results of reserves. These rules will apply to stablecoins that are issued in Singapore and mimic the value of the Singapore dollar, or of any G10 currency, such as the US dollar. Stablecoins are a type of digital currency designed to hold a constant value against a fiat currency. Stablecoins such as USDT and USDC have typically been the backbone of cryptocurrency trading.
Germany's cabinet passed a contentious bill on Wednesday to legalize recreational marijuana use and cultivation, one of the most liberal cannabis laws in Europe that could potentially provide further momentum for a similar worldwide trend. The legislation, which still has to pass Parliament, would allow adults to possess up to 25 grams of the drug, grow a maximum of 3 plants, or acquire weed as associates of non-profit cannabis clubs.
The center-left government of Chancellor Olaf Scholz hopes the law will curb the black market, protect consumers against contaminated marijuana and reduce drug-related crime. Health Minister Karl Lauterbach said a key pillar of the plan is also a campaign to raise awareness about the risks, which should ultimately curb consumption. The new legislation will limit the amount of cannabis young adults can buy to 30 grams a month, compared to 50 grams for older adults.
Now let's delve into the news of Cathay Pacific wooing travelers with cheapest tickets since COVID. Offload. It's nice to have someone you can offload your problems onto. Steep. 2 for a cup of coffee seems a little steep to me. Surcharge. How much is the surcharge for the express? Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comments section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. Consumers are rebelling at price increases. A. Long haul. B. Steep. C. Capable. D. Tenacious. And that's all for today's news. Be sure to tune in to Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Jolie, your host. I'll see you next time.